Now, here's a situation that many professionals will recognise. Someone struggles to understand a complex decision, maybe about medical treatment or managing finances, and suddenly they're treated as if they lack capacity for everything, every decision, every choice, every aspect of their life. But that assumption is not only wrong, it's directly contrary to the Mental Capacity Act. Now, today, I want to explain why there's no such thing as blanket capacity, and why the decision itself matters far more than the diagnosis or the presentation. Now, the Mental Capacity Act 2005 starts from a very clear position. Capacity is decision specific. The first principle, the presumption of capacity, reminds us that capacity is not a label you apply to a person, it's a conclusion you reach about a particular decision at a particular time. And the courts have reinforced this time and time again. There is no one assessment fits all approach. Someone may struggle with one decision, but manage another one particularly well, and that is entirely lawful. Now, the key concept here is something called the threshold of understanding. Put simply, this is what is it that a person needs to understand in order to make this specific decision. And crucially, that threshold changes depending on the decision. Some decisions are simple and everyday, but others are far more complex, technical or high risk. And this idea runs consistently through case law, including things like Masterman-Lister, PC City versus New York, or a local authority versus JB. Each confirms the same principle. The complexity of the decision defines the level of understanding required. Now, this then explains something we see all the time in practice. That a person may lack capacity to, say, litigate because they can't grasp the legal process or financial risk, but they still have the capacity to, say, make a lasting power of attorney, which is very different and much more values-based. Someone might lack capacity to refuse life-saving treatment because they can't weigh the risks, but they have no difficulty choosing where they want to live or who they see or how they spend their day. And that's not an inconsistency, that's just the law and mental capacity working properly. The decision itself defines what needs to be understood, retained, weighed up and communicated. So how do we avoid then slipping into this whole blanket capacity mindset? There are some kind of practical safeguards, some practical things we can do. First of all, we need to define the decision precisely. Vague decisions lead to vague conclusions. We need to identify the correct threshold of understanding. Present only the salient information rather than give them overwhelming details. And provide appropriate time, support, adjusted language, visual aids. Ask yourself, is this decision a micro or a macro decision? And assess accordingly. And reassess when needed, especially if the decision changes or the threshold shifts. Right? Capacity is dynamic, it's not static, but it is always decision specific. So, does lacking capacity for one decision mean lacking capacity for all? Well, absolutely not. Mental capacity is decision specific, it is time specific, and it is threshold dependent. There is no such thing as blanket capacity. So I hope you found this useful. I hope that explains why a person can have capacity for one decision whilst lacking capacity for another. I hope you found it useful. If you have, please do like, subscribe and share with your mates. And I look forward to seeing you at the next video.